Hi, my name is Nicole Walters, and I'm the author of Asha and the Ancestors, a picture book series that celebrates the Black family, Black culture, Black contribution, and Black spirituality, especially as it relates to ancestor veneration. February is Black History Month in the United States, and I'd like to take this opportunity to share 3 common ancestors who have meant a great deal to me in my personal evolution. I'm going to concentrate on the areas that are important to me also, and that's spirituality, it's the arts, and social justice. So, when we're talking about spirituality, what I'd like to include in my practice is tarot cards. I love reading tarot cards. I started reading around 9 years ago just for my own personal enjoyment and edification. As I learned more about the cards, I got curious about the illustrator. And so I'd love to take this opportunity to introduce to some and to remind others of Pamela Colman Smith. Here's a little bit about her. Pamela Colman Smith was born in Britain on February 16, 1878. That makes her my Aquarian sister. She had a Jamaican mother and a white American father. Smith was already an accomplished artist when she illustrated her now famous deck of tarot cards. Pamela Colman Smith died in 1951, and sadly, she was never properly celebrated during her life for the contribution she made to the spiritual paths of so many. However, today, those of us who love and practice tarot are happy to give her the honor, the respect, and the flowers she deserves. Thank you, Pamela, for your amazing generosity and talent. And now, about the arts. As a writer, it's impossible for me to name all of the authors who have had a positive influence on me. I'll start with a few names, though, to try. How about Alice Walker, Zora Neale Hurston, Maya Angelou, James Baldwin, Richard Wright, Octavia Butler? I could go on and on. But there is one writer who I'd like to focus on now, and that is Toni Morrison. I love Toni. As a reader of Toni Morrison's works, sometimes I find it difficult to distinguish Morrison's voice from the voices of her fictional characters. I personally love that. To me, it demonstrates how much of herself she puts into her writing. With that in mind, here are some of my favorite Morrison quotes, fictional and non. If there's a book you want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. The function of freedom is to free someone else. Freeing yourself is one thing. Claiming ownership of that freed self was another. And finally, at some point in life, the world's beauty becomes enough. You don't need to photograph, paint, or even remember it. It is enough. I don't know. She simply inspires me. Okay, about social justice. Maybe this ancestor will surprise you. Let me tell you a little story that you're familiar with, I'm sure. In 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led the March on Washington to protest racial and social inequality in America. What you might not know is that on that day, he had not prepared to deliver his now famous I Have a Dream speech. He had addressed the audience with another speech altogether when his friend and gospel singer Mahalia Jackson sat behind him whispering, "Martin, tell them about your dream. Tell them about your dream." See, Martin Luther King Jr. had shared his dream of America with his closest friends, Mahalia being one of them. So as she sat behind him listening to him address the crowd, she thought what they really needed to hear was Martin's dream. Boy, was she right. That speech has gone on to be a bedrock for social justice movements everywhere in this country and around the world. Here's what I love about that story. Mahalia Jackson, she's a gospel singer, she's an artist, and she used her influence to enact social change for the betterment of this country. I love that as a creative myself, to know that art can inspire positive change. Thank you for allowing me this time to share 3 of our common ancestors with you. Who has impacted your life positively? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Nicole Walters. giving you peace and blessings. Ashe.